स्वादयन्निह सर्वेषाम् त्रय्यन्तार्थम् सुदुर्ग्रहम् स्तोत्रयामास योगीन्द्रः तम् वन्दे यामुनाह्वयम् नमो नमो यामुनाय यामुनाय नमो नमः नमो नमो यामुनाय यामुनाय नमो नमः यत्पदाम्भोरुहध्यान विध्वस्ताशेषकल्मषः वस्तुतामुपयातोऽहम् यामुनेयम् नमामि तम् स्वधर्मज्ञानवैराग्य साध्यभक्त्येकगोचरः नारायणः परम् ब्रह्म गीताशास्त्रे समीरितः श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्ताम् सदा हृदि
अनन्तः तैः आराधितः भगवान् एव हि सर्वत्र उपायः न पुनः क्षणिकं तत् क्रिया, this should be kriya. Kraya meaning what we call selling and buying. Kraya meaning actually the price, P-R-I-C. It will be tat kriya. Okay. Tat kriya swarupam tat sadhyam. Kinchit tat प्रीति अतिरिक्तम अप्रामाणिकम अपूर्वादिकम वा अतः तस्मिन्नेव मामेकं शरणं व्रज गीता भगवद्गीता 18th chapter 66th श्लोक इति वक्तरि उपायता बुद्धिः कार्या इति आह न्यस्येत्. Let's see the verse of Gitartha Sangraha where the word Nyasyet is there. Nyasyet in the 31. Yeah, okay. Nyasyet devetu tam abhi. Keshavdas Swami already said that this is a better version of the Charama Shloka Sarvadharman Parityaj. This is what we are now going to see the word, especially this particular word we are now explaining through the commentary called Gitartha Sangraha Raksha Swami Vedanta Deshya. Nyasyet. Now the word Nyasyet, you know, is what we call vidhiling. It's called potential mode in Sanskrit. Vidhiling lakaraha. It's a rule. The rule should be obeyed. It should be obeyed. Nyasyet meaning deposit. Should deposit. So what should we deposit? Everything. Within inverted commas. Not only the soul, not only the Jivatma, but also the yogas that we practice also. Again, please remember that we remind ourselves that karma, jnana, bhakti, prapatti yogas are minor upayas and they should also be dedicated. Total sattvika tyaga is intended by the word nyasyet. So it is not necessary to say that we have to include our possessions. Whatever we call it as our possession, all the possessive nature at least. Mamakaram, mamakaram, mamatakaram. Anyway, the sense of ego, ahankaraha, plus the mamatakaraha. Namely, we have a lot of sense of possessions. I have this, my own, OWN, it is mine, it is mine. This is mine, this is mine. My. Everything mine. Can also say my God. Shivan Narayana is my God. There is no mamatakara. So here it is nyasyet. So whatever you have, you think that you have, you think that you possess. You think that you possess because of your effort, and that is to be submitted. Nyasyet. Submitted. Where? Devi. So that is what we are now in 190. Thank you, Yashoda Swami. Dhanyavadaha.
Swami, the same thing is said in Stotra Ratnam, verse 53. Mamanata yajasti yosmyaham sakalam taddi tavaiva madhava neyataswam iti prabuddhadi atava kim samarpayamite.
Exactly.
It's very beautiful.
If you are a prabuddhadi,
The-
if you are a person with realized intellect, then nobody will claim that none of us will claim that this is me and mine, this is mine,
At
this
least
is my object.
it makes us realize.
Yeah. Prabuddhadi, not only buddhadi, highly realized intellect.
Yeah.
When we understand that, then you say last word samarpayami. Now I also object to this word samarpayami. I will say prati samarpayami. I will resubmit, because the Lord Sriman Narayana has given us something to what we call claim anything as our possession. He has given us some freedom to claim as the possession, property. Whatever we have, we say it is our property. It is our own object, as though we have earned it by my salary, by my working. Therefore, I earn my salary. So by going for a job. So here, so this is what. So again, so now the beautiful word which we use here is second word. Achyuta, Ananta, Govinda. And the three words that we normally use for purifying ourselves. And here, Keshavdas Swami may question, ladies are also rather not allowed in the, I won't say allowed, ladies also should, not only allowed, should say achamanam. Achamanam. Achamanam is, they also should sip water from the palm of the hand, saying all these three names initially and followed by the other 12 names. So they will again we will be reminded that they will not say the pranava from before the pranava syllable, single syllable before the names. So we also don't say now initially. So Achyutaya Namaha, Anantaya Namaha, Govindaya Namaha. Then come all the other names, Keshava, Narayana. Smartas, the Advaitins say just name, Keshava, Narayana, Madhava. We say Keshavaya Namaha, Narayanaya Namaha. But we add Pranava for the men. They also will not say Keshavaya Namaha, Narayanaya Namaha. General say Keshavaya Namaha. So it's only what we call a salutation, reverence, bowing to, humble and modest. That's all. So now here is Ananta. Now, Anantaha, you know the meaning, that there is no end to him. There is no death to him. He is an immortal. Not only that, he has got endless number of auspicious qualities. This name also is given to Adishesha, which is a bed for him. Anantaha is one of the names is called Anantaha. Meaning that this Ananta, namely Adishesha, ever does Kaikaryam service to the Lord. So also, we also should be Anantaha, meaning doing endless service to God. This is what he expects, that is what he makes us, that's what we are expected to do. So Anantaha. So how do you say? So as you know, I think if at all we forget, I remind that while performing through our Adhanam, we first say the what you call Bhuta Shuddhi in temple. We perform Bhuta Shuddhi in temple. Bhuta Shuddhi is again very simple, is we purify ourselves. Even though the very word especially called Pundarikakshaha, Chandamarai Kannan in Tamil, a Lord who has eyes like a red lotus, that the very name, single name is enough to purify. When we have not taken bath, Yashodas Swami says, I just got up, it is 5:30 in the morning, therefore I didn't take bath, he says. So it is enough if you remember, Shrimate Pundari Kakshaya Namaha. Pavitrova, Apavitrova. Apavitrova, Pavitrova. Sarvavasthan Gatopiva. Yas Mared Pundari Kaksham. Sabhashyabhyantarastuchihi. This is the first verse which we say before doing Tarpanam, especially. You can say this anywhere, anytime, anywhere, anytime. Meaning, Apavitra Pavitrova. I am impure. I have not taken bath. Even after having taken bath, I am not wearing clean clothes. I am wearing the old clothes. The old clothes in the sense which are not washed. We also say humorously, when you go to a office or you go somewhere, so you go with what you call ironed clothes. We give either we do it by ourselves or we give ironing work to somebody else. And we also use pin men. We also use dhobi in order to wash our clothes. So that is they are not pure. They are not pure. So we wash ourselves, our own clothes, keep them dried in our own home, and then then we say we can confidently say we are pure in body. Yes, using starch. Whether you use starch or not, we say we want to have crisp shirt. That is why we have the foldings must be folds must be very good. The starch makes it stiff. So here, so with that, what do we say? Apavitra pavitrova, whether we are pure or not. Sarvavastam gatopiva. Sarvavastam means in any condition, in all conditions. So we have gone to temple. We are pulling the chariot of the Lord here, Ranganatha, three cars, three chariots in a year. I think fourth one is also there. So Panguni Ter, Tai Ter and Chittarai Ter. There are three chariot festivals. So you go and pull the chariot along with thousands of people. They have not, some of them have not taken bath. We go and touch them because we are dash against them. When you pull the rope, Therefore, you become impure. So you come home, do Tiruvaradhanam, because in the morning, very early morning, we have to pull up the chariot, pull the chariot. Therefore, so it is not. It is mentioned as it is. You are not becoming impure because you have joined the Bhagavatas. You have joined the devotees, and therefore, so here. So why I say this? There is a practical way of keeping ourselves pure. So pure, whether we are pure or not. Yes, Mare Pundari Kaksham. Once you remember the lotus-eyed Lord, Saha Bhashya Abhyantara Suti. Not only outside but also inside, the heart becomes pure, the mind becomes clean, the body also becomes pure. Bhashya Abhyantara Suti. The purity is there for both outside and inside. So with this background, so Anantaha, Taihi, then what do you do? So while you start doing Tiruvaradhanam, Puja, you become the Lord Himself. You become Anantaha. We become Anantaha. We become Anantaha. Again, there is no end. Ananta vai Vedaha, scriptures have no end. Ananta vai Jivatmanaha. The individual souls like us are also endless in number. So we do Anantaha. Taihi Araditaha Bhagavan Eva. So Taihi refers to many individual souls in passive voice here. Araditaha, worshipped. So Bhagavan, Lord Sriman Narayana, Eva, only He will be worshipped. That means exclusive devotion, exclusive adoration. Bhagavan Eva, He, indeed, surely, Sarvatra Upaya. So are we doing the Aradhanam? No, He is doing. So not only He is doing, so He also is the means of doing. Sarvatra, everywhere. Everywhere mean again within inverted comma, all comprehensive, all inclusive. Sarvatra. Upayaha means, method of approach. Through Him, Bhagavan is helps us to do. Bhagavan through. He through the Bhagavan we do everything. So Araditaha Bhagavan Upayaha iti. Then na punaha kshanikam tat kriya swarupam tat sadhyam kinchite. So punaha here meaning but. Punaha normally means again. Na punaha but not. Na punaha is but not. Kshanikam even for a moment. Even for a moment. Do we think or can we think that we can do anything? No, even for a single second, we cannot we cannot assure ourselves that we are doing anything. We can't do anything. So, na punaha kshanikam, but not even a moment. Tat kriya swarupam. Whatever you do, kriya swarupam. Kriya swarupam is karma yoga. Kriya action. Tat kriya is the action done to him. Tat kriya. We are not doing anything else. Tat kriya is Tat Brahma Kriya. Action towards him. Action towards Lord Sriman Narayana. So Tat Kriya Swarupam, the original nature, na punaha kshanikam. It will not be even for a moment. Tat sadhyam, achievable. Tat sadhyam. Na punaha tat sadhyam. It will not be easily achievable. It will not be achievable without him, without Bhagavan eva upayaha, without Bhagavan. So without Sriman Narayana, nothing is, no action is possible, even for a moment. The question will be sometime, today I am not able to do, at least tomorrow can I do? That's the question. So no moment will be possible for action without him. So tena vina trinam api na chalati. That's the proverb in Sanskrit. It's a good saying in Sanskrit. So tena vina, without him, trinam api na chalati. Even a grass cannot move. We have, of course, story of scripture where Agni Bhagavan, the fire god, the wind god, Vayu Bhagavan, and Indra, all of them tried to do something without his help, and they all failed miserably, and therefore, so you know the story of it. It's a very small one. So kinchit, so tat sadhyam kinchit. So add it with na kinchit, na punaha kshanikam tatkriya swarupam tat sadhyam kinchit. So here you say, you think that can you do anything great? Can you do anything little? No, both are not possible. So kinchit api, kinchit. Then when do you say that we are not able to do all this thing? When do we say that we are not able to do all this? If it is tat preeti atiriktam. If it is not, it doesn't include tat preeti, his affection. Either you can say his blessing, his love for us, his affection for us. Atiriktam is overlooking, overcoming, overtaking. We cannot overtake his affection. That means without his affection, without his love, without his involvement, without his interest in us, we cannot do anything. Otherwise, now the question again is, do you have any proof? It is apramanikam. Don't expect any proof. Apramanikam. Atiriktam apramanikam. So there is no authority to say that without him we can do anything. None of us can do anything, even a little, at any time, without the affection of the Lord, without the blessing of the Lord. Tat preet yatiriktam. Then that will be apramanikam. It will be unauthoritative. There will be no proof for that. And apurvadikam va. It may not be also rare. So va otherwise. When we think that sometime or other, somewhere, some miracle happens that we can do anything without him, no. It cannot be rare also. It cannot be rare also. Apurvam. And so apurvadikam. Then ataha, therefore, tasmin neva meaning Bhagavati eva, Sriman Narayana eva, only on him, over him. Mamekam Sharanam Braja, iti Vaktari, Upayata Buddhi Karya. Now, Mamekam Sharanam Braja, that you know, I also repeat the word, Mom, go to Tayar Sannidhi first. Believe in Goddess Ranganayika. Mother is mother. Mom is mother. It is not mom is me, only me. So he is saying, Lord Krishna is saying, Mom, me. The first mom is mother, my wife, Mahalakshmi. Then Ekam. Then don't consider that we are two. We are a couple. Don't think we are two separate entities. Whatever I do, she can do. Whatever I have, the original nature, she has. So, Mom Ekam. We are not two, we are one. So, Sharanam Vraja. Surrender. Go to surrender. I would also say one more meaning, I think I told you earlier, If I forget that, I have not told you. Vraja. The word Vraja, all of you know, is called in Bengali Braja also. Braj. So Vrajaha is the name of the cow pen. Cow pen. So if you want to surrender to Lord Krishna, go to cow pen. Go to Gokulam. Go to Vrajabhumi. All the cattle, goats, sheep, bulls, cows, all of them wander. Vrajati. Vrajati means going. Every cattle, all the animals go to the forest in the morning, come back after taking the grass. After chewing the grass, they return in the evening. They give milk. So the cow's milk give milk. So that is called Vrajabhumi. Everybody is active. Nobody is idle. So how are they active? They are doing service to Lord Krishna. So Sharanam Vraja. So what will be your shelter? What will be our final goal? So go to Vraj. Go to Vrajbhumi. Go to Mathura. Go to North Mathura. Go to Vrindavan. So Sharanam Vraja. So there you are surrendered to Lord Krishna. So Bhagavad Gita says, Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. So go to Mahalakshmi first, Rukmini, and then Krishna. We want to say Radha and Krishna. Then iti Bhaktari Upayata Buddhi. Who is saying this? Lord Krishna. So Vakta speaker. Bhaktari in the speaker. Have faith in the speaker. So speaker is Lord Krishna, and therefore Bhaktari Upayata Buddhi. Now he said to us there are two or three actions. Sarva dharman parityajya. Give up all your fruits of action. Sarva dharman parityajya. Dharmam, it is not a good activity, all good activities you give up. No, we don't give up all good activities. We all give up the expectation of the fruits of our good action. You say our good action, again the word comes in the automatically. Our good action. No, he is giving us the freedom, a limited freedom to do the action. So Sarvadharman Parityajya is the first action. Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Saranam Vraja, second action. He says Ahantva Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishami. Then Masuja. If you do two things, I will do one thing. So don't worry. So my action will be a reaction to what you do. Two actions. Sarvadharman Parityajya. So give up the fruits of your action, and then Mamekam Saranam Vraja. Surrender to Mahalakshmi and me. Consider both of us as one, and then go to understand. If you want to have bhakti, remember Gopikas. Remember the cowherdesses who showed extreme devotion to the Lord, and remember them to have a lot of devotion. So Upayata Buddhi. Then remember Sarvadharman Parityajanam. Sarvadharma Parityajanam. I will say giving up all action, giving up the fruits of all actions, and going to surrender at the feet of Mahalakshmi and Sriman Narayana, are helped by these two actions, are helped by Bhakta, the speaker, Lord Krishna. Karya should be done. Iti ah, thus said. Who said? Sri Yamunacharya said, Nyasyet deve, iti abhihi. Don't have any fear. Ma Suchaha will be the replacement I told you. Ma Suchaha. Don't worry. Worry is our fear. Fear is our worry. Bhayam and Shanka, doubt, Sandeha. We always have Sandeha, whether Lord will protect us or not. So Bhayam also, fear. I would also say, please have some fear. When we don't have fear, we won't do anything. So have some fear, but be confident that we will reach the goal. So reaching the goal is again doing service, again achieving the affection of the Lord. That is all different. But let us have some fear in order to do action. And without fear, we will be doing bad action. So I would recommend some fear. But in the final reaching of the goal, he says, don't have fear. That means no fear, meaning confidence, full faith. That is the absence of fear. In Sanskrit, the word shanka, meaning doubt and fear. So for everything and anything, we have doubt and fear. Either doubt or fear or both. We will have both fear and doubt in any act. In any act. We pray to God for certain earthly favors of this world anytime, anywhere. We always do some actions with some expectations to get our desires fulfilled. One aspect that Keshavdas Swami and all of you, all others also know that Nityanuthanam, daily routine work, duty, does not give you any benefit, but without, if we do not perform, that we will incur sin. No advantage will accrue to us because of doing this, and the sin will come and get attached because of non-performance, and therefore this is the so lastly you understand. Please, we always remind ourselves that Lord is our means. Upayata buddhi, vaktari, upayata buddhi, karya. Without compulsorily. Certain things are compulsory in our life. When we don't have a mind to do our duties, somebody should initiate, somebody should recommend, somebody should suggest, somebody should compel. External compulsion is very much necessary. Therefore, we read Yamunacharya's Gitartha Sangraha. Why should we read Yamunacharya's Gitartha Sangraha? We understand the advice of Yamunacharya, and Yamunacharya's Gitartha Sangraha in turn is explained by Vedanta Deshika in his Gitartha Sangraha Raksha. We also have to read this to understand elaborately what the Gitartha Sangraha advises. And then these pieces of advice are very much necessary. And if we don't have these pieces of advice, we will go astray. That's very nice that we all have the opportunity, the golden opportunity to go through the Gitartha Sangraha. And then, so with this, is open to discussion.
Yes, Swami, I also want to say, because Vedanta Deshika said, it is true, I have to follow something. You get that feeling, what you said is, that's what I feel. Swami said this, Vedanta Deshika Swami said it in Gitartha Sangraha, how we should do these things. So it really, it helps me reinforce it, and it gives me
that's
belief system. Yes, I can.
You are also putting the right expressions every time.
Thank you.
Last time, in the last session, I remember your expression. Namely, when Keshavdas Swami was serious in questioning, he said, chances are more. Chances are more. I liked your comment. Chances are more.
Thank
So
you,
if you
sir.
are getting some problem, the chances of getting the problems are more.
Yeah.
Instead of saying that categorically, he will be asking Keshavdas Swami, where is the pramana? Where is the authority? Can you give me a proof? And he said, chances are more. So that is why in the same way you are also saying reinforcing
Yes.
our concrete just suggestions,
Yes.
our
Yes.
concrete ideas. Reinforced concrete. When you build a building, we have a reinforced concrete so that the building will not collapse. Unfortunately, today I think the news says some building collapsed and three floor building, and many people have had problems. So why is it the reinforcement? As you said, Yamunacharya's Stotra Ratnam is there to add to it. And then, as you said, Vedanta Deshika's words are very important to encourage us to do whatever we have to do.
Yeah, also, Swami, the words of Bhagavad Gita are there, and Lord Krishna, but Lord Krishna is also a trickster. Sometimes he says things which are not correct. So, so when we hear from Yamunacharya and Vedanta Deshika, we can take it as being correct, because sometimes Krishna says things that sometimes Krishna is a little bit tricky.
Right.
So we appreciate that Yamunacharya and Vedanta Deshika are reinforcing what Lord Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. Right. Do you want to look at the Charma Sloka, or because it comes?
Yeah, we can have.
We can look at it. Okay.
Yeah. Madam Malini is there to read the English part.
Completely renouncing all dharmas, seek me alone as refuge. I will release you from all sins. Do not grieve.
Thank you. Vedanta Deshika has written some Chillare Ragasyangar, minor secrets. He has given explanation in Sanskrit and Tamil. Three mantras in elaboration. Number one is Ashtakshara. He calls it Tirumandira Churukku in Tamil. Tirumandira Churukku. That is called Ashtakshara Sangraha. Then you have Dvaya Churukku. The mantra called Dvayam has been given in Tamil as Dvaya Churukku. Churukku is Sangraha, brief note. And then Charama Shloka Churukku. Charama Shloka Churukku is again in Tamil. These are all some what you call minor ragasyas in Tamil. Whereas in Sanskrit also he has given Manipravala, he has given all the three. And so in Sanskrit also, all his Ragasya Tretara, the entire Ragasya Tretara of Swami Vedanta Deshika is on these three mantras. Ashtakshara, Dvaya and Charamashloka. Very detailed explanation of this. So with all this, as you both said, that they are reinforcing our ideas. That's right. All acharyas try to lead us. It is generally humorously said, Lord Sriman Narayana took a lot of incarnations. starting with, say, for example, fish, tortoise, and so on. He started advising the people of the world, trying to transform the people of the world, especially people of the world. Why they people Chetanas? He was not worried about Achetana. Though initially he was more worried about the Chetana, sentient being, and then took a lot of incarnation. Then saw in almost 7th incarnation, realized that Vishwamitra was a guru, teacher to Rama. And then when he was obeying the teacher meticulously, namely, when he wanted, Vishwamitra wanted Rama to kill a lady, Tataka, he hesitated first and then asked again the permission, rather asked Vishwamitra whether he must kill her. The first encounter, police encounter. Police was Rama. First encounter. Vishwamitra said, yes, no is not the answer ever in the life of Rama to your guru. Then in Krishnavadara, then Rama thought, Bhagavan Sriman Narayana thought, oh, why not I become teacher and a disciple in Krishnavadara. He became the disciple to Sandipini Rishi, then had a classmate Kuchela, and he obeyed the command of the teacher by bringing the dead children, dead sons of the sage. That is miracle. That's a miracle. But afterward, he became a teacher to Arjuna. Bhagavad Gitacharyaha. Then he felt miserably, I am a failure in teaching Arjuna. Through teaching Arjuna, I wanted to teach all the people, but again, people have not transformed themselves. People, they have not corrected themselves. Then he started sending Alvar and Acharyas. So all the Bhagavad Amshas, he employed Garuda as Periyalvar, Kaustubham as Kulashekara Alvar. Kaustubham, very Achetana, it's only Achetana. Kaustubham is an Achetana. It's an insentient object, inert object. He sent it in the form of Kulashekara Alvar. And so on, you have a lot of 12 Alvar. The lady Mahalakshmi asked in Varahatara, long time ago in Varahatara, you are not able to correct people, why not I try? Why not I try to correct people? You don't know how to correct people. So he said, yes, okay, go ahead. So she was born as Andal. She appeared as Andal. She was not born as usual as a human being. So Periyalvar's daughter, the source, the seed of the avatara was sown in Varaha avatar. Because she was a goddess of earth there at that time. It is either it is Mahalakshmi or the goddess of earth Bhuma Devi or Neela Devi Andal. What is called the goddess of grains, the goddess of produce, goddess of products, the food products. All are one and the same. Vedanta Deshika says in his Godastuti, Shri Vishnu Chitta Gulanandana Kalpavalli Shri Rangaraja Harichandana Yoga Drishyam Sakshat Chamam. She is only Bhuma Devi in another form, goddess of earth in another form. Sakshat Chamam Karunaya, by her mercy, Kamalamivanyam. She is only goddess of fortune. Kamalamivanyam Godam Ananya Sharanaha Sharanam Prapadye. This is the first verse of Godastu. Why is it? All three are three in one. Three in one. Gayatri, Saraswati, Savitri, and Lakshmi. Sandhya, you can say Sandhya goddess. All are one. Gayatri Namah, Sandhyaye Namah, Savitri Namah, Gayatri Namah, Saraswati Namah. All are one. We just give some directions for that. That's all. So why there is the point is Sharanam Mamekam Sharanam Braja, and then coming back to this every action is for every action he is the upaya. He is the means. And in this Mame Charama Shloka you get Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja. So Krishna Avatara, he also felt diffident in teaching. That is why Acharyas like Yamunacharya and Vedanta Deshika corroborated Krishna's teachings and gave it to us in a beautiful form. Some poets, some acharyas give us some analogy also. Today also I read one analogy. I forget, I will tell you.
So Swami, you're saying in Vaikuntha that the Kaustubham of the Lord is Achetana?
Yeah.
So in Vaikuntha is also made of a type of matter, a type of Shuddha Sattvam?
Yeah. Shuddha Sattvam has got the matter, namely, you don't call it Prakriti there to attach with Rajas and Tamas. All Achetanas are also Sattva objects. And you have buildings, gardens, everything is there. Flowers, trees, gems.
But if King Kulashekara Alwar, if he is a person, Kulashekara is Chaitana. Kulashekara is Chaitana.
Yeah.
How can Achetana become Chaitana?
Yeah.
It's possible for Achetana to become Chaitana?
Yeah, it is possible because there are, I think you have the categorization. You must tell me because immediately the word. We have got Andaja, Utbija. There are 4 types of. Some are born out of the egg. That is, birds are born out of egg. You have in our home lizards, cockroaches, what do you call Murishtika name? What is that?
Scorpion.
Huh?
Scorpion.
Scorpions. How do they? Ants, worms. Where do they come from? They are from Achetana. They are from Achetana.
Okay. This was an ancient theory.
Yeah.
Because somebody looks at the rice grains, and then some scorpion appears, or something comes from the rice grain. But this modern science has debunked this theory.
The modern science, for example, physics, or anything, any technical subject, any science subject, will be a fallacy. For example, even Newton's third law has been disproved. Any scientific discovery or invention is questionable, and it doesn't become final authority. So no scientific fact is said finally.
No,
every research disproves the earlier contentions.
Okay.
Every modern research disproves earlier contentions.
Okay. So, all right. Once again, that's a type of logic which doesn't explain. If we have a superstition that chaitanas appear from achaitanas in this world, I'm perfectly happy to I'm perfectly happy to accept that in the spiritual world in Vaikuntha, a chaitana can come from an achaitana. Fine. In this world, I'm also happy to understand if God wants an achaitana to become a chaitana, he can also do that. But normally the situation we see with projection, anumana, and empirical knowledge, right, is that we don't see achaitanas becoming chaitanas in this world. Normally.
One more example, cow dung. Cow dung. If you keep it for a long time with dry, anywhere.
Okay.
So the cow dung produces a lot of worms. Cow dung is an achetana.
Okay. Once again, I would say scientific research has debunked these superstitions. That's a superstition. I would say. I mean, we can't say that. If we look very closely with the microscope, we can see that the worms are coming from somewhere. Either they're coming from the stomach of the cow or they're coming from some other place. But the worms do not spontaneously appear from insentient cow dung.
No. As you said, exactly microscopic organisms.
Right.
What is the source for these organisms?
No, the source from all organisms is Sriman Narayana. I agree. The ultimate source of everything is Sriman Narayana. So I understand that.
That's only answer. Today also we have been saying. That's right.
Okay. All right. Anyway, but the point is that that in Sri Vaikuntha, my original question was, in Sri Vaikuntha, there are buildings and there are things which normally we consider to be achaitanas, and even at that time in Sri Vaikuntha there are achaitanas, but they can become chaitana also. Okay. So sometimes we also, you're mentioning about the different goddesses. There's Sri Devi, Bhudevi, Neela Devi, and Sandhya Devi, right? Gayatri Devi. So they're Saraswati Devi. Are they considered all to be that they're all the same person ultimately? So is there any goddess which is not the same? I mean, what about Durga and Kali and all these other goddesses? Are they also the same as Sri?
We also say that they are all some other forms of Mahalakshmi.
But because the Smartas worship Lalita,
Durga.
Yeah, Durga, and they consider, like, we're coming to Navaratri. In Navaratri, they are worshipping Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, and they are considering them all the same.
Right.
So they're all the same.
Yeah. The ideas, like for example, Saraswati as a goddess of education, and Durga as a goddess of anger. That is, in order to just put down the evil, whatever the demon or demoness that she kills, Mahishasura Mardani, we have a long name. Any demon in any form is killed by The killing what is called putting down the evil. The evil, of course, comes again comes up because, as you said, because of Sriman Narayana only. So there are some disturbances. I told you already, the gods will also be disturbed every time, so that they will remain devoted to him, faithful to him. Frequent trouble is given to the gods also.
So, we are doing Sandhya Vandanam, and we are praying to Sandhya Devi.
Yeah.
And when we pray to Sandhya Devi, we should think that she is Mahalakshmi.
No.
And
That's right.
so is there any problem to go to a big Devi temple and worship Devi? Can we go to Madurai and Meenakshi temple and worship Meenakshi?
So we are only, as you said, meditating on the different names and forms, but practically speaking, as a strict Sri Vaishnava, we are not supposed to go to another devata.
Right, but is she another devata? That's my question. Is she Anya devata or not Anya devata? I mean, why is Sandhya Devi not Anya devata? Why is Saraswati not Anya devata? And Meenakshi is Anya devata.
No, I think we have to, because we don't mention it in our Sandhya Vandanam. So I may not be aware why it doesn't include or why it excludes such names. As you said, Navaratri festival is celebrated for Durga, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. And
right,
even in the case of Saraswati,
so we don't mention her name in Sandhya Vandanam, but we have other like in the Veda we have Durga Suktam.
Yeah.
So she's mentioned in the Veda, Durga. So why we can't worship Durga?
again, as you said, Vaishnavas also are not prevented. Not only are they not prevented, they must also recite Rudram, Chamakam. Then it is not a question of resorting to Anya Devata. And again, I would also subscribe to the view that if you go to Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple, don't ask for anything. Don't ask for anything. Don't demand. Don't expect anything from her. That's what.
Okay,
Again,
but if she's just another form of Mahalakshmi, we're supposed to go, according to Charma Sloka, you say we're supposed to go to Mother Lakshmi. We should go to Tyre Sanadi. But what in Tamil also we see all the goddesses like Mahalakshmi are called Tyre, and the Durga is called Amman. Why Mahalakshmi is called Tyre and Meenakshi is called Amman?
both
Tyre and
the
Amman.
same. Amma in Tamil is same. Amma is called Amman.
But
unfortunately,
Sri Vaishnavas never say Ranganayaki Amman.
Yeah.
We don't say Ranganayaki Amman. Why?
Yeah. There are I think there's some connotations for this Amma and Taya.
So the way you explained that Durga is a form is a form of angry form, like Mahalakshmi, but angry form. So I mean, we have with Perumal we have Krishna, very lovable form, and then we have Narasimha. Narasimha is like an angry form of Perumal, of Sriman Narayana. So we go to see Lord Ranganatha, but we also go to Katalagiya Singha, Perumal Coil. We see also the angry form of Lord. Why we can't go and worship Durga Amman?
Yeah, considering that Antaryami is Mahalakshmi, you can. Somebody was asking me yesterday that there is a demand in the family, that some desire to be fulfilled in the family. They said, why don't you give us help to perform uh, Vinayaka Homa, it's called Ganapati Homa, Navagraha Homa, and Swayamvara, Parvati Swayamvara Homa. Then I discussed.
For getting somebody married.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw this.
I discussed with Anna Vaishnava. What shall we do? There is a request like this. And he said, employ someone to do this. Employ an Advaiti to do that. And you don't go and perform. There are 2 points. Number one, I am also not familiar with the procedure. I am disqualified. And number two, we are not supposed to do this kind of worship. Number three, the particular request came from a family of astrology and of astrologers. And then the astrologer felt that those Brihaspatis, those priests who performed earlier some homa in his house were not better, were judged as inferior people, low quality people who have done that, and therefore the family is able to judge or assess the quality of the performance. And because they didn't believe in the previous priest, they are now asking us. The problem is, so we have to be very careful about that family, because we must do it perfectly or more perfectly than the previous priest. And then, so when he in the family has got the discernment that one is superior, the other is inferior. Even now, those who have not had any study of scriptures, or they can easily understand any Laukika man. Generally, a person who is engaged in worldly activities can easily understand a priest when he performs anything, either Punyaha Vachanam or Ayush Homa or Tarpanam. He understands that he is not sincere, he doesn't know mantras perfectly, and so on. He can recognize very easily. Some people are able to recognize very easily. Therefore, they choose only the better one in the. For example, I'll give you an example. My daughter searches for what we call caretaker or the daycare centers in Bay Area. And then she discusses and finds out one is better than the other. So she gets her children admitted there, the daycare, when it is better. This is only a sample to understand. So priests are also tested. Priests are tested. Do you utter mantras rightly? Others can recognize you.
So I think deities are also tested. People have a lot of faith in Srinivasa Perumal for getting the desires fulfilled, and maybe they have less faith in. But some people have got a lot of faith in Meenakshi Amman and some other devatas also.
Right.
Sometimes they say, if you go to a devata, you're going to get what you want very quickly. But if you go to Perumal won't give to you.
Yeah, no. We have 2 names for Lord Shiva. Ashutoshi, he can be pleased very easily, quickly. Ashu quickly, Toshi becomes happy, contented. He is pleased. Then Chipra Prasadi, he blesses us quickly, at once. There are two names not given to Perumal. Another thing is one in the history of Sanskrit literature, we have a poet praising Goddess Meenakshi with 500 words when he was dumb. 500 verses when he was dumb. Later on, he became normal.
It's a big miracle, huh?
Yeah, Mukha Panchashati.
Who was
the book name is Mukha Panchashati.
Yeah, who was the person?
Mukha is dumb. Pancha 5, Shata and 100. So 500 verses.
We don't know his name. We don't know the author's name.
We don't know. He's called Mukha Kavi. He's a dumb poet. So, today the efficacy, the power of that poem is, I saw 3 families having children at in young age, do not talk, do not open their mouth. And at least I understand one family has solved the problem by the recitation of Mukha Panchashati. The other 2 I do not know.
So the parents recite this stotra, and somehow the children.
Anyone with a sankalpa, pray for the child. Pray for the child.
I think 500 verses is a big miracle, but even one verse being spoken by a person who is dumb is a miracle.
Yeah. No, he had it in his heart, and it was recorded later. You find now in black and white. And such miracles happen in many poets' lives. Namely, Venkatadhwari, Shishya of Vedanta Deshika, from the Arasanipalai Gramam village called Arasanipalai near Kanchipuram. He was an Adhvari family, meaning family where they perform sacrifices. Adhvaryuhu is the name of the priest in any sacrifice. Venkatadhvari is called Venkatadhvari. He wrote many works. He wrote what we call Raghava Yadaviyam, called Anuloma Pratiloma Kavyam, where you read from left to right, you get a story, from right to left, you get another story. It's a story of 30 verses, just 30 verses, just 2 lines, not more than, I think, Anushtup, 8 letters per quarter. He himself has given the commentary. When you read from normally left to right, you get the story of Rama about his anointment, Pattabhishek. And when you read from right to left, you get Satyabhama story, where Lord Krishna brings Parijata tree from heaven for her. Just 30 verses, 60 meanings. And then he himself has explained it in Sanskrit. Now that poet wrote a book called Vishwagunadarsha Champu. Vishwagunadarsha Champu is the name of the book. He has presented his optimistic and pessimistic views through 2 characters. The optimistic was Vishwavatu. Optimistic character was Vishwavatu. And the pessimistic character was Krishanu. Krishanu in Sanskrit means fire. Fiery speech, always negative. And then Vishwavatu, friend of, just like Vishwamitra, friend of wealth of the world, wealth of the universe. So these are the 2 characters. So he imagined that this story, and then number one, Krishanu criticized everything, anything and everything, including the gods, rivers, physicians, doctors, astrologers, teachers, so many professionals. Astrologer is useless, he says. because he doesn't know how to predict the future. Therefore, he only makes long predictions. So in this way, he was going on criticizing negatively, destructively, and therefore he lost his vision. Poet Venkatadhari lost his vision, and then he got his vision restored by his own work called Lakshmi Sahasram, by writing 1032 verses on Mahalakshmi. These are all some miracles. Mayura, the name of a poet, who is considered as the incarnation of Sri Adi Shankaracharya, wrote 100 verses, rather, I think it contains 104, 106 verses on sun god, and God himself relieved from his leprosy. Narayaniyam, Narayana Bhattatri got his disease, rheumatism disease, what we call stroke, the paralytic stroke, from his teacher, Pisharati, called Bharata Pisharati. Bharata Pisharati was his teacher. Because he was so devoted to his teacher, he got the disease from him in the process called Karma Vipaka Prayaschitta Dhanam. That's a process by which one gets the disease from the other. The teacher was relieved, but the disciple was affected. Again, he composed Narayaniyam, went to Guruvayur temple inside, sat down with his legs and hands unmoving still. Then he came out normally after writing the 1008 verses on Narayana. So these are all sorts of miracles that happen.
So I
In
heard,
order to make,
I
in
heard,
order to make devotees believe, that's all.
yeah, this I heard of this somebody taking the disease from another person. Peri Nambi had a shishya who took a disease from him, but that person was also a non-Brahmin, and later Peri Nambi did the final rites for him after he passed away, and some other people were criticizing Peri Nambi for doing that. But Lord Ranganatha's chariot, the Chitrai Tear, stopped in front of Peri Nambi's house because Peri Nambi's daughter said, my father has not done anything wrong, and therefore Lord Ranganatha will not, his cart will not go until people stop criticizing my father. So the chariot stopped there, which is why the chariot is there today. Even today, just opposite my house. This is all.
So many miracles. Ramanujacharya himself solved the madness of a princess.
There was supposed to be there was some ghost, no? There was some, the princess, that princess was in Tamil Nadu or in Karnataka?
I must confirm.
Maybe there was no Karnataka that time. It was Mysore state, right? Okay. So,
and even Arya singers in the history of the Hobbit, they have solved many problems. I also would love to hear from Madam on Stotra Ratnam. Again, Keshav Swami is more proficient in explaining the many books, not only one book or many books. And we will be. I mean, I'm not saying that you are a disciple and I am a guru. Each of us is a guru and each of us is a disciple, and therefore I'd like to hear more. Last week I said to my group, I said today I have Mauna Vratam, following the vow of silence, because I didn't talk a single word, either correcting them or intervening them in the middle. Therefore, I said, I will not say the mistake committed in pronunciation and so on. Answers for my question. If you give wrong answers, I will not give you the corrections. And then you have to discuss with each other whether each one is correct or not. Then they all said, and we are not. I said, I am preparing you to teach others. I am preparing you to teach others, and therefore they said, even studying is very difficult. Therefore, how are we to teach? So in this, so you on the other side, you should be vocative in the sense. Your voice must be heard more than my own voice.
Nice of you to say, Swami, but it's very difficult for us to say things in front of you because we know that whatever we say will be wrong. So
No. So here, only one thing that I can tell you is I'll help you in understanding the Sanskrit commentary. If you have the other language that you have known.
Achiradi Marga.
Right, Achiradi Marga. Now
Yes.
there are 2 points. There are Shastras telling you the exact description of a soul going through Achiradi Marga, number 1. Number 2, we must have belief. We must believe that statement from the book. Number 2. Number 3, we will say, or we will question the veracity, the truth of the statement. How people can say this? Who told you that the soul will go through Achiradi Marga? So with this background, you tell me.
But Swami Deshikar says, don't question the scriptures. So that itself is an authority. Swami Deshikar says, don't question.
Well, let me not question it. I was just going to. It says something that I noticed in a discourse. It's written out, discourse of Chinajir Swamiji, and what it is that that description was given of the soul's journey through the Achiradi Marga. But the part which was astounding to me, and I thought it made some sense, is that it says in the end when you actually meet Srimanarayana, that the soul is actually absorbed into his body, and then from his body, then the soul will take different forms to offer him service. So remember, we were talking about Sayujya Mukti and this idea of becoming one. So from that description which was given, which I'm not sure, if it's Chinajir Swami, it's supposed to be something which is bona fide, So have you read that before, that the soul actually joins the body of Srimanarayana, and then from there the soul will actually, come out and do services in different forms for Srimanarayana? That seems to be, to me, Sayujya Mukti, like what we've been talking all the time, that you come so close, but actually it actually says that you actually join his body, you're absorbed in his body.
Okay, we will discuss it in a session where you are totally present.
What? We'll discuss in a session when I'm totally present?
I think either Govindacharya or Keshav Swami will send me the material which you consulted for this topic.
Oh, okay. You want to read it? Okay.
We'll send you the link. I also haven't read it. It's a discussion by Chinajir Swami. So okay, but also the other thing is, we also know that there is a book by Pila Lokacharya called Achiradigati. Yeah. So we should also try to find that book. That will give more explanation about the Achiradigati. But as you say, all of these descriptions of Sri Vaikuntha and going by the Achiradi Margam is somewhat speculative, I think, because people nobody is coming back and telling us actually what it's like.
That's what.
It has to be based on faith. But isn't it that?
Though Madam
Isn't
said
it that
it is unquestionable, according to Deshika, it is unquestionable. But again, we have, as Keshavdas Swami puts it, we have to understand what they said, why
but
they
it,
said.
but it has to also be based a lot on faith, in the sense that if the faith is that the Alvars and the Acharyas, they come from Vaikuntha, the Lord sends them to actually come and, reclaim the souls, etc. It is that they would have knowledge of what Vaikuntha is like. So isn't it that it's based on faith that when an Acharya writes this, is that we believe that an Acharya has vision of this, or he has had vision of this. Just like the Gauriyas, they believe that they are Acharyas.
Yes.
They are actually beings which they come from the spiritual world, and that's why they can write what the spiritual world is like, and they just come for the sake of uplifting us. So I guess if you look at it in that point of view. But then
Right.
there's also the point, like Keshava Swami was just saying, that when you go there, there's no return. So how is it,
that's
that anybody could write about it?
But
So,
I think that there are some Alvars and Acharyas which we think they came as avatars. They're Amsa avatars or whatever. Even Vedanta Deshika is considered to be the Ganta avataram. But I think not all acharyas are not considered to be avatarams. No, all acharyas are not avatarams.
Yeah.
but then there's like this, like you just described about Kulashekara Wal, that he is actually the Kaustuba. How much closer can you get to the Lord than the Kaustuba, that you can actually you can witness so much? So you can imagine the description coming from him.
What Swami is saying is, in Vaikuntha, he's Achetana in Vaikuntha. So if he's Achetana in Vaikuntha, how is he getting knowledge of what is going on in Vaikuntha? He's only Chaitanya here. He's not there. He's Achetana.
Well, that's it. That's the
there. He's
thing,
insentient.
Yeah.
Here he's sentient.
Whereas the Gauriyas believe, which I know it's just comparison here, they believe that everything in the spiritual world is Chintamani, and everything is totally sentient. Even the sand, the grains of sand, every blade of grass, every leaf is supposed to be sentient. So I'm coming with that idea. So that's why I was thinking that everything should be spiritual. Just like you said, Vishuddha Sattva. So therefore, if it's spiritual, it should have some type of consciousness.
Right.
Because consciousness is the symptom of the soul.
Okay, so that's the question. The question is, everything in this Surasattvam in Vaikuntham, is it actually Achetana or is it Chaitana?
Which one? Sorry.
Okay, so what Govindacharya is saying is that in the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they say everything in Vaikuntha is Chaitana. There are no Achaitanas there. That's what they say.
But as he said, because it is Shuddha Sattva, Achaitanas are also made up of Shuddha Sattva. As he said, they have consciousness.
Swami,
Okay, so there's no Achaitana there.
I don't know. He will not see something, no?
Swami, I want to ask you in what is it?
Okay, Govindachari, what you're saying to Swami is that in Vaikuntha, their concept is in Vaikuntha there is no Achaitana. There is no insentience in Vaikuntha. Everything is sentient.
Yes. Everything is Satchit Anandam. That's the description of the spiritual world. So therefore, there cannot be anything which is dead matter. They say dead matter is Maya, Mahamaya, which only is in the material world. That doesn't exist in the spiritual world. So that's their idea. So that's why I was trying to see Vaikuntha through that vision also, that there cannot be anything which is dead matter. If it's touching the body of the Lord, the Kaustuba, it must be alive.
Okay, if you're saying, dead and alive is another thing. Let's stick with the Sanskrit terms. The Sanskrit term is Chaitana and Achetana. Chaitana means sentient. Sentient.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thinking capacity.
So the thing, dead can have some other meanings, like inert. not moving. You know,
Yeah.
this is dead. But
No.
something can be not moving. Something cannot move, can appear to be still, but still be sentient. I can sit here perfectly still I'm sentient. So in Vaikuntha, you have something which is perfectly still, Sriman Narayana's throne that he's sitting on. Still, it can be sentient,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that
Swami,
doesn't mean. So in one sense, it is in one sense it is like matter, because it just sits there. But in another sense, it's not like matter, because it's also it can be sentient in a way.
is
Even
plant,
Madam is.
Swami, is plant considered as a Chaitana, Achetana? Because plant has got life. Is plant considered as a Chaitana or Achetana?
No, even a stone.
Yeah.
I think you have heard of a stone sweating.
Mm,
Yes, a stone has got the nature of sweating,
I see.
meaning that some emotional feeling is attached there. For example, Kamba Ramayanam, Tamil Ramayanam, it's only, of course, even not only imagination, but also in the Mithila, the capital of city of Janaka, Rama, along with Lakshmana and Vishwamitra, arrived. And the flags, the banners in the city of Mithila are moving in the wind. Because of the wind, they are moving. They are flipping. And Kamban says, the poet says, they are welcoming. They are in the welcoming mood for the arrival of Rama. Because Sita's marriage is going to happen. They are also happy to welcome her. So Achetanas are conscious even in this world.
There's a story in Tiruvaimali by Alvar says there are two trees because of Shapam. I forget which pasaram it is. There are two trees which has got life, but they can't up. But due to Shapam, they become two trees. You remember that pasaram, Swami?
Yeah, that is Nalakupara and Manigriva in Lord Krishna's incarnation.
It's
Yeah.
They are called Arjuna.
Jamal Arjun trees, yeah.
Yeah.
Yamala is twin, so Arjuna trees. Yamala is Siamese twin. So, they, of course, for example, Gajendra Moksha, you have got the crocodile and the elephant. They have been the Gandharvas earlier, and then because of the cuts, they became the elephant and the crocodile. So, there, as you said, the plant kingdom, the fauna, all of them have got life,
Yeah.
flora and fauna. But the thinking capacity is less compared to the human being. The thinking capacity is less. In Tamil, we have a classification. We belong to what we call 6 aspects of our life. Aruyur. So you have a gradation. You have got 5 aspects: 4, 3, 2, and 1. So by 1, I will have a minimum thinking capacity. 1 will have minimum thinking capacity. Whereas we are number 6. That's why we call it in English also 6th sense. We have got the 6th sense. We have got now, I think, 7th sense.
I think 6th sense maybe too many. We have 5 senses, but 6th sense.
Manas.
Manas is but usually in English when we say 6th sense, we are talking about some extrasensory perception, something which is beyond the normal sensory perception.
Beyond proof.
Yeah. So I wouldn't translate this as 6th sense. But when you say there are 6 levels in Tamil, 6 levels, can you say what those levels are?
I'll consult you.
Okay. All right.
Because starting with the worm has got number 1. Worm.
Okay.
And then gradually the living being have got the conscious level, the level of consciousness.
Okay.
And
But you're saying the gem has some also. The gem has one, like a worm.
yeah,
It has one level.
Yeah, the lower level.
The gem and the flags.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll be interested. I'll be interested to hear the full explanation of
Right.
the classification in Tamil.
And
But that classification is there in Sanskrit or only in Tamil?
only in Tamil.
Oh, okay. Good.
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः।